Yo, 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 what up, man? It's yours truly, Castratus from inside the building, man. What it do, what it do, what it do. So, I'm gonna do my best to make this video simple and sweet and to the point. I'm gonna do my best, but I know the topic I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna get real passionate about it. So, I'm gonna try my best to not bore y'all to death. But shouts to everybody who's been keeping up with my channel for a while now. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the kid. I really appreciate that, man. I remember a few years ago, probably about like the summer of 2000, maybe 16 or 17. I had did a video called My Radio Rant, and so I'm back for part 2 of this radio rant. Obviously, as y'all know, times have changed, and from 2017 to 25, 8 years, a lot has happened. But let me just say this: radio radio's a handful, and as somebody who has had their stripes in the game, and who's done it, quite well, I can attest to this. I love radio. For those of y'all who probably don't know, I was fortunate enough to grow up with live radio here in Boston. So I was fortunate enough to get some of the experiences that I can sit back and talk about as far as radio up until recently. My childhood was blessed. I can say that for a fact. And then for it to turn around and happen to me, for me to be in a studio in a radio station, that was a blessing. A super blessing. So I say, all of this to say, man, radio does need a makeover. It really, really does. There is so much talent out here. So much. But PDs, A&R execs, record label execs, them motherfuckers, they won't give folks a chance to showcase their talents because they're afraid of what talent could do. They're afraid of the talent over hype. They're afraid of the talent over familiarity. They're afraid that that talent could potentially change that very platform. I've been saying to a few of my friends lately, other people in other states, y'all might not have the opportunities that Boston has had at one point. I know New York, obviously, that's a staple. California, that's a staple. At least certain parts of California. Los Angeles, that's a staple. Berkeley, that's a staple. Northern California, they've all had staples in terms of radio. But where we are today, right now in the year 2025 AD, literally, as y'all hearing the sound of my voice, we're in a dying need for a makeover. And somebody's got to do it. There's too much music out here to not give to the people. People don't want to hear the same fucking 20 songs a day. They don't. They lied to y'all. They lied to y'all. They lied to y'all. And let me tell you this, too. Stop looking to Spotify and all them other streaming platforms to where you can go and hear your music. Yeah, they're great advantages. Yeah, you go in there, you can create playlists. Yeah, you can do all these things that all these PDs, the record execs and all that. Yeah, you can do all things like that. But let me tell you what's missing. Let me tell you the missing ingredient. The missing ingredient that none of these platforms have is a DJ with skills. And I'm not just talking about skill sets on the turntables. You have to know musical knowledge. Your musical knowledge, it has to be vast if you want to make it in this game. Again, like I said, I'm sure people in other states just haven't had the opportunity, like California, New York, and Massachusetts have. We've had live radio. We know what that's like. We know what it's like to live and to be in that room, to be in that car, to be in that truck, to be in that van, or to be in the house, and there's a live radio show going on at that moment. That is real adrenaline. Let me address it from the other side too, right? Because being in the car and being in the house and being in, that's just from the listener's perspective. That's just from the listener's angle. But let me give it to you from the DJ's perspective. That shit is a beautiful thing. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're on set and them lights is on and that mic is on or off at that moment in time, and that first song after your introduction for the show drops, that's live energy right there. You should want to be giving that to the people. You should be wanting to, just go in, come in, guns blazing. I think we're going to have a good time tonight. What about you guys? You want to make your people feel like they're there with you in the moment. All these pre-recorded shows and shit, all these what is it called? The AI, or not AI, but the automation, all that stuff is cool. All of that stuff is cool. And don't get me wrong, like, it does make it easier if your show is pre-recorded. But what I'm saying is people love the live experience. And if you don't give it to them in radio, it is not the same. It's not. It is not the same. Shout out to all my people who know what it is in radio. Salute, salute, salute. I just wish radio would give back in the correct way. I just wish that radio itself would say, you know what, we got to get back to what really matters. Because here's the thing, y'all. Live radio matters. It still matters. None of these streaming platforms that we have do the same things that radio does. Let me give you all a quick example. When the pandemic hit back in 2020, okay, there was a station here, and there were these two Caribbean brothers. Okay? Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Listen, because this is actual facts. The name of their show was called Up Top Saturdays, which meant they brought live energy. They brought live experiences to the radio. And if you kept up with my channel, you know there's a couple of examples on the channel right now. So you can go in there, go find them. Shout out to the big bro, DJ Legend. Shout out to the big homie, Mastermind. Let me tell y'all something. That show was one of my favorite shows to listen to. Just for the simple fact that it was live. Just for the simple fact that there was a whole bunch of sound effects during the show. Just for the simple fact that one was talking and the other was playing, or the other was playing and the other was talking. That is where we need to be. Other cities and states across this country need to experience things like that. They need to. Just one time, or maybe twice, if you're really feeling it. Maybe 3 times. 3rd time's the charm. Other states and cities need to experience this. Listen, y'all, I'm not making this up. This was a live thing for me. And I didn't realize it at the time, but a couple years had went by, and I'm like, yo, that was crazy. But I'm going to tell you, the one thing I did not like was that they catered to their audience. And their audience was niggas in the hood. Or just people in the surrounding areas that they knew would tune in. Or, you know, which, I mean, rightfully so, right? Because you want your friends and family to tune in, right? But it could have went further than where it was at. That's my whole point. We got to get back to giving back to live, man. We got to restore live energy back into a lot of platforms, man. We have to. We have to. People always say the radio is dead. People always say, yo, the radio be playing the same 15, 20 songs. Yeah. Because you're missing a lot of ingredients. And the DJ with actual skill sets is the biggest one. Honest to God. That's my radio rant. That's my part 2 of the radio rant. You like what you heard? Subscribe, comment, subscribe, like, do what you got to do. Tap in with me, man. I would really love to know what you guys think. Don't be afraid. Don't be a stranger. Y'all already know what it is, man. Yours truly, Castratus. I'm out of here. Holla at you later. Peace.